So hi everybody, we will be dealing with the second chapter, that is life processes in living organisms part 1 of science and technology part 2, means science 2. What are we going to do in it? We are going to do as usual. These are chapter series contained detailed explanation and solution of the exercise questions along with your entire explanation of the chapter. Okay, so this is part 2.2. So if you have not watched it, go and watch part 2.1 before you all see this part. Okay, there is a connection. Normally ऐसे नहीं होता है, हर एक part अलग होता है, but there is a connection. Okay, so if you watch, you will be able to understand better. But I have taken a recap of part 2.1 over here, which will be very quick, and then I have summarized the concepts that we learned in part 2.1 because there were some doubts. All of you all had messaged me, so I'm going to clear that doubts. We're going to do aerobic respiration in detail. Then we're going to deal with the textbook question 3a, also question 2, that write definitions. Okay, that is differentiation between glycolysis and the TCA cycle. Also we're going to do electron transfer chain reaction and Krebs cycle. So these are the concepts. It might be a little a long lecture, but I hope you'll understand the concepts. Okay, so let's begin. So what did we do in the previous parts? We in 2.1 we saw living organisms and life processes, that the life processes in living organisms are carried on by our organ systems. They work in coordination with each other in order for the life processes to go on. Okay, and they coordinate or work with the help of energy. The source of energy is derived from all the food we eat, that is carbohydrates, fats and lipids, the main ones. Okay, this is harvested, or I told it is stored and processed in the mitochondria primarily. What is mitochondria? This is mitochondria. This is how a cell looks like. Okay, then we have what I said, foodstuffs and oxygen are transported by the circulatory system, and the entire body is coordinated by the control system. These are also the various systems if you want to go through. Okay, then there was something about the plants, that is they are autotrophs, they prepare their own food. If you have any doubt in any part, you can just message me. Okay, or put it in the comment section, I'll get it cleared. Next, living organisms and energy production. See, because this is you're getting confused, as in this is not a type. They are saying that respiration takes place at 2 levels. One is the body level. Okay, this is the body level respiration, and respiration takes place at the cell level. So this is not cellular respiration. Okay, this is the respiration which takes place at 2 levels. One is the body level, where carbon dioxide is thrown out of the body and oxygen is taken in, and cellular respiration, where your food stuff is broken down by various steps, and then energy is released. As I had told you, the food that you eat gives out energy. Okay, okay, so that happens in the cellular respiration. You all were having some doubt, so I just wanted to clear that. Okay, let's see what do we do in the next part. So these were some terms that I had explained. Syllabus wise जितना आपको syllabus में required है उतना ही explain किया था. One is ATP. I told you have a picture. एक picture के जैसे उसको remember करो. ये है ATP. So that is like a battery. So whenever we are talking about ATP, remember it as a energy storage. Energy store करके रखते हैं आपका body in the form of ATP. So this is that. This is ATP. And the other two, as I told you all, कि पेट्रोल लगता है गाड़ी को चलने के लिए, तो पेट्रोल ऑयल वगैरह. So one of for a body there are something called as enzymes. Okay, so the two that are actually important in cellular respiration are NADH2 and FADH2. These are just some terms that you need to know कि ये terms क्या है. ठीक है, then we'll go further. Okay. Now we'll just revise again what was cellular respiration. Cellular respiration, carbohydrates are utilized for the production of energy. प्रोडक्शन ऑफ एनर्जी अगेन मैंने किस फॉर्म में बोला, मैंने बोला वो बॉडी स्टोर करता है एनर्जी, किस फॉर्म में, बैटरी, रिमेंबर एटीपी, ठीक है। और द कार्बोहाइड्रेट जो हमारे बॉडी के फूड्स है उसको ऑक्सीडाइज करता है, जिसे ब्रेक डाउन करता है, उसको ब्रेक डाउन करता है डिफरेंट स्टेप्स में ताकि एनर्जी रिलीज हो। अभी जो सेल्यूलर रेस्पिरेशन होता है, जो एनर्जी रिलीज होती है हमारे लाइफ प्रोसेसेस कैरी ऑन करने के लिए, वो दो मेथड से होती है। एक तो एरोबिक, एरोबिक मतलब एयर के साथ, दैट इज विद ऑक्सीजन, एंड वन इज विदाउट ऑक्सीजन। सो फर्स्ट वील ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड इन डिटेल कि एरोबिक रेस्पिरेशन क्या होता है, ठीक है। सो लेट्स गो, so let's summarize till what we learned till now. So where we understood respiration takes place at two levels, okay. One is the body level and one is the cell level. So this is the cell level that we are talking about. Cell level is two types. One is aerobic respiration, that is with the help of oxygen, and one is anaerobic respiration, that is without oxygen. So this we'll deal with in the later parts of the chapter series. Now we'll deal with aerobic respiration in detail. It involves 3 steps. That's why I've written 1, 2, 3. Please pay attention. One is glycolysis, one is TCA cycle, and one is electron transfer chain reaction. Okay. So let's understand it. Okay. Now I have picked out a diagram that you all can see over here. This is the diagram that I have picked up. It is not from your textbook, but I searched something on the net that will summarize it in the best way possible. Okay. So the words that are not there in your textbook, please don't pay attention to that. Just pay attention to what I am going to tick mark, okay, or underline. So we are going to understand first through the diagram, and then we'll read or see the summary of each. Okay. So here, so let's see. Aerobic respiration, that is which involves oxygen, contains of, is made up of or 3 steps, that is glycolysis, the TCA cycle, and electron transfer chain reaction. Okay. So what happens in glycolysis? See, now I'll explain you over here, then we are going to read it also ahead. Okay. So in glycolysis, glucose is oxidized step by step to give you, here it's written pyruvate, but pyruvic acid, NADH2, ATP, and water molecule. Okay. Then from the pyruvic acid, acetyl coenzyme is released. Okay. Acetyl coenzyme में से NADH2 we get. Acetyl coenzyme is further broken down to give us NADH2 and CO2. So I'm underlining these things. These are the only things that are important. This summarizes your glycolysis. I hope you all understood it. Okay. When you all understand the diagram, then you all will understand it. All these, as I said, what is NADH2, what is pyruvic acid, these are all your molecules and molecules who are required, and NADH2 are enzymes. These are chemicals that are required for your life processes to go on. Life processes, which one we are talking about here? Energy production के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं, इसीलिए ATP आता है, ठीक है. So again I'll do, in glycolysis glucose is oxidized, मतलब ग्लूकोज को तोड़ दिया जाता है स्टेप्स में, to release what? NADH2, pyruvic acid, and ATP. Here it is written pyruvate, which is also another name for it, but in your textbook it's written pyruvic acid and water. Okay, it's not given over here, but you can remember water molecule also. So 1, 2, 3, 4. These 3 are kept as it is now. Okay, as of now हम लोगों को इनके बारे में आगे नहीं बोलना है. Next step में what we are going to talk about? What happens? The pyruvic acid is further broken down to give acetyl coenzyme, from which NADH2 and carbon dioxide is released. This is your process for glycolysis. Then what happens? This acetyl coenzyme gives us NADH2, FADH2, CO2, and a lot of ATP. Okay, that is energy. That is nothing but your TCA cycle. Okay, and there's something called as Krebs cycle, which we will see in the later part. Okay, so this is your second part. This was your first part. that is glycolysis. This is your TCA cycle, okay, and last part is your ETC, that is electron transfer chain reaction. So in electron transfer chain reaction, see, this is the connection. From this NADH2 and FADH2, from this I'll just use another color, maybe red. So in this last ETC cycle, your NADH2 and FADH2 are used and broken down to give you water, a lot of energy and oxygen. So this is your third part, that is ETC, electron transfer chain reaction. Now we'll see each in detail and then again we'll come back to this particular diagram. So if you're just, अगर आप लोग सिर्फ ये diagram करते हो ना, दिमाग में रखते हो, तो आपको आपका आंसर लिख पाओगे, ठीक है. Let's see, वो कभी कभी बोला है 2 NADH2, 2 FADH2 molecules that you can remember on your own, ठीक है, but the basic structure is this. Let's see each in detail. I hope you'll have understood this. I know ये आपका normal नहीं है, but मैंने जितना simplify करना है उतना simplify किया. अभी एक एक देखेंगे और फिर से हम लोग एक summarize करेंगे, ठीक है. Let's see. So let's continue. 2 questions deal करेंगे हम इधर. Right definition भी आता है और distinguish भी आता है. Definition कभी कभी बोलेंगे define the term glycolysis या तो define the term TCA cycle, ठीक है. So distinguish जब आया तो कैसा लिखना है, ठीक है. So let's see. Process of glycolysis occurs in cytoplasm. TCA cycle occurs in mitochondria. If you'll remember that blue image in the very first slide of this particular chapter series, okay, something like that, okay. And there are these small things like that. इनको जो मैंने बताया था आपको mitochondria बोलते हैं, और ये जो अंदर liquidy part होता है उसको cytoplasm बोलते हैं. तो cytoplasm में your glycolysis is taking place, and in this mitochondria your TCA cycle is taking place, okay. Just remember. So ज़्यादा गड़बड़ नहीं करके, suppose this is your cell and I'm only showing one thing, okay. This ये जो liquidy portion present होता है, there your glycolysis is taking place, okay, and then in this TCA cycle is taking place in your mitochondria. Just remember that, okay. Let's see what happens. A molecule of glucose is oxidized step by step, that we saw in your previous slide, and in the process 2 molecules each of, we again saw pyruvic acid is produced, ATP is produced, NADH2 is produced, and water is produced. If you remember that diagram, you will understand this. Then as I told you, the pyruvic acid is further broken down into acetyl coenzyme A. These are also enzymes, as I told you, these are necessary for your process. जैसे पेट्रोल आपके गाड़ी को चलाने के लिए important होता है, वैसे enzymes energy production के लिए, ठीक है, one of the body processes आप लोग बोल सकते हो. Then 2 molecules of NADH2 and 2 molecules of carbon dioxide is released. This number that is there, okay, it is important, but more important is what is released, okay, ठीक है. So this is for your glycolysis, ठीक है. Let's compare, कभी भी distinguish के जैसे पढ़ोगे. So if glycolysis is taking place in cytoplasm, remember TCA is taking place in mitochondria, okay. Glucose is oxidized and this glucose is oxidized, pyruvic acid, ATP, NADH2 and water is formed, okay. Both molecules of acetyl coenzymes enter the mitochondria. So ये acetyl coenzyme आया कहाँ से? This acetyl coenzyme that is formed in your glycolysis, which you understood, which is the first step, it enters into the mitochondria for the TCA cycle. Then cyclic chain reactions occur called as tricarboxylic acid cycle, and it is operated in the mitochondria. So this acetyl coenzyme is broken down. इसको step में break down कर रहे हैं हम लोग mitochondria में, TCA cycle में, in the mitochondria, okay. And what do we get from this? Acetyl part of acetyl part of coenzyme A is completely oxidized through this cycle, and the process of molecules, what is released in this? Carbon dioxide is released, water is released, NADH2 is released, and FADH2 is released in this, okay, okay. In this we get NADH2 and CO2. So like that distinguish करके आप लोगों ने पढ़ना है. Note See, glycolysis is also known as the EMP pathway. Tell me why. This is already given for you. You can just read the note on your own. Okay, I'm not going to read everything for you. I can just put it down for you. Okay, I hope you all have understood and it is not too confusing. Let's move on. Okay, see kids. Now again I had told you all, इधर हम लोगों का थर्ड स्टेप आ गया. इससे पहले हम लोगों ने फर्स्ट टू स्टेप्स देखा था. तो we'll again put this is your glycolysis, this is your TCA cycle, and this is your third part, that is electron transfer chain reaction. ठीक है, let's just revise. Glucose is broken down stepwise to give us pyruvic acid, NADH2 and ATP and water. Yes or no? ठीक है. Does it stop over there? No. Pyruvic acid is further gives us acetyl coenzyme. This is in your glycolysis. Acetyl coenzyme. From that what do we get? We get NADH2 and carbon dioxide. This is the end of your first step, that is glycolysis. After glycolysis what is taking place? Your TCA cycle. In your TCA cycle, from this acetyl coenzyme we get NADH2, FADH2. मैंने बोला ये दोनों भाई हैं, ये दोनों साथ साथ में आते हैं, फ्रेंड्स हैं. NADH2, FADH2, carbon dioxide and a lot of energy is released during your TCA cycle. Now last step, let's see. As I had told you, मैंने आपको एक रेड कलर यूज करके बताया था. फिर ये NADH2, FADH2 से फाइनली हम लोगों को बहुत सारी एनर्जी, ऑक्सीजन और वाटर मिलता है. इसको बोलते हैं इलेक्ट्रॉन ट्रांसफर चेन रिएक्शन. लेट्स सी व्हाट योर चैप्टर हैज टू से अबाउट इट. Molecules of NADH2 and FADH2 are formed, as I have told you over here. Let's not disturb. Here. Okay. During the above process, during all above processes participate. Okay, again I'll read. Molecules of NADH2 and FADH2 formed during all the above processes participate in electron transfer chain reaction. So all that NADH2 and FADH2 that have been formed in the above processes, what do they participate? They participate in this electron transfer chain reaction. Due to this, 3 molecules of ATP are formed from NADH2 each, and 2 molecules each of ATP are formed from FADH2 each. So in general, ATP energy, a lot of energy is released. How many? 3 for NADH2, 2 for FADH2. Now let's see. Besides ATP, water molecule is also released. As I mentioned, water molecule is also released. Electron transfer chain reaction is operated in the mitochondria only. So see kids, glycolysis is the only one that occurs in cytoplasm. So G and C remember, दोनों का shape remember करो. तो glycolysis in cytoplasm, while your TCA cycle and your electron transfer chain reaction both occur in the mitochondria. Okay, just remember, electron transfer chain reaction is operated in the mitochondria only. Thus a molecule of glucose, now directly क्या बोल रहे हैं हम लोग बोल सकते हैं, thus a molecule of glucose is completely oxidized in aerobic respiration, as we were seeing, and molecules of what is released? Molecule of carbon dioxide, H2O are produced along with a lot of amount of energy. तो इधर हम लोगों ने carbon dioxide नहीं दिया है, पर हमको पता है if we take in oxygen we give out carbon dioxide. So this summarizes all your 3 steps. Okay, so for you now we will do Krebs cycle. What is Krebs cycle? हम लोगों ने वो बीच में circle देखा था, उसका क्या है. ठीक है, let's see what is Krebs cycle. So during your fasting या जब we don't get food on time, or sometimes you know हम लोग झगड़े करते हैं घर पे तो खाना नहीं खाते, तो क्या होता है हमारे बॉडी में? Normally I said carbohydrates. I told you all, mention in the comments what are the food types. Okay, so normally हमारा cycle कैसा है? Carbohydrates, उसमें उसके अंदर जो carbohydrates में जो ग्लूकोज प्रेजेंट होता है उसको स्टेप बाय स्टेप ऑक्सीडाइज करते हैं. उसमें से हम लोगों को मिलता है पायरुविक एसिड. पायरुविक एसिड में से एसिटिल कोएंजाइम आता है. एसिटिल कोएंजाइम मतलब एसिटिल कोएंजाइम में से एनर्जी निकलती है और हम लोगों को कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड, वाटर और बहुत सारा एनर्जी मिलता है. तो ये हम लोगों ने जस्ट अभी पढ़ा था. बट Suppose if you're fasting, see over here, if there is an insufficient amount of carbohydrate in the body due to exceptional conditions like fasting and hunger, then lipids and proteins are used for energy production. So imagine हम लोगों के पास ये बहुत कम है, तो क्या हो जाता है, ये एलिमिनेट नहीं बोलेंगे, कम है, तो हमारा बॉडी दो और चीजों को यूज करता है, दैट इज लिपिड्स और प्रोटीन्स यूज करता है एनर्जी लाने के लिए. ठीक है. सो प्रोसेस क्या है, lipid, in this case lipids, they are converted into fatty acids. So lipids are converted into fatty acids and proteins are converted into amino acid. See here, proteins into amino acid. Okay, you can remember, and proteins into amino acids. Okay, PA and LF. Okay, lipids into fatty acids, proteins into amino acids, and both into acetyl coenzyme A. We already know what happens in acetyl coenzyme A. It is broken down. Fatty acids, amino acids are converted into acetyl coenzyme A, and energy is obtained through complete oxidation. So complete oxidation of the acetyl coenzyme A by the process of Krebs cycle in the mitochondria. Again, Krebs cycle also takes place in the mitochondria. This is nothing but your Krebs cycle. ठीक है, अगर आपको explain करना है तो. ठीक है. Here again you can read the note on your own, and if you have any doubt you can ask me. So let's summarize everything. So here see kids, acetyl coenzyme A, from acetyl coenzyme A we get two molecules of NADH2 and FADH2 along with carbon dioxide and a lot amount of energy. This is nothing but your Krebs cycle जो पीछे mention किया था. ठीक है. Let's see. Now let's summarize. So aerobic respiration, that is the energy production with the help of oxygen, takes place in 3 steps. One is glycolysis, TCA cycle, and electron transfer chain reaction. It can also, see, it can be asked as parts. 3 पार्ट में पूछ सकते हैं कभी, ग्लाइकोलिसिस, TCA cycle या इलेक्ट्रॉन ट्रांसफर चेन रिएक्शन क्या प्रोसेस है वो पूछ सकते हैं, डिस्टिंग्विश पूछ सकते हैं, या तो एक बड़ा आंसर. सो लेट्स प्रिपेयर अ बिग आंसर नाउ. So aerobic respiration, that is energy production with the help of oxygen, takes place in 3 steps: glycolysis, TCA cycle, and electron transfer chain reaction. Let's see what happens in glycolysis. So if you'll remember what happens in glycolysis, what are formed? Okay, let's see. Correct. So glucose is broken down in 3 steps. Okay, glucose is broken down to give us NADH2, ATP, okay, and water molecule. ठीक है. So it's broken down to give us these, and pyruvic acid. In this, pyruvic acid further breaks down into acetyl coenzyme to give us NADH2 and carbon dioxide. This is nothing but your glycolysis. Okay. What happens in TCA cycle? TCA cycle में क्या होता है? Acetyl coenzyme further breaks down to give NADH2, FADH2, CA2 and ATP. Okay, this is also termed as Krebs cycle. So that is TCA cycle. This is happening in the mitochondria. This is also happening in the mitochondria. Finally, your NADH2 and FADH2, which is formed in the above processes, that is glycolysis and TCA cycle, is further broken down to give oxygen, ATP, H2O, and as per your textbook, carbon dioxide also. This all takes place in the mitochondria. A lot of energy is released. This is last and third part, which is known as the electron transfer chain reaction. Yeah, you can draw this diagram. We can draw this diagram in the simplest way possible in your book and remember it through a diagram. बड़े answers याद करना difficult होता है, but diagram के through it will be helpful. I hope you all have understood this chapter, and I'll meet you all for the remaining in the next part. So bye. Thank you. So hope you've all enjoyed this part of the chapter series, just as you would enjoy your favorite book with a hot cup of tea. So e-CoT, that is Everyone's Cup of Tea, will bring to you many more such chapter series along with detailed explanation and solution of the exercises that are there in your textbook. We wish to bring to you this and more at zero cost so that the hardest chapters become your cup of tea. So help us by clicking on this button. Get notified about our upcoming chapter series. Also, share it to help us define education through equality. Do message us any doubts that you have on our Instagram handle, Everyone's Cup of Tea, and we promise to answer them. Thank you and keep sipping. Bye.